Hello everyone, and today I'm presenting Newbie's Coffee, the web application I made for this course. This web application, just to give you a rundown of what it is, it's a web application for beginners who are new to coffee. This is assuming people have no prior knowledge, and it's giving basic coffee recipes. I try to keep it as simple as possible, simplistic with the recipes, treat it as beginners who are still beginning their coffee journey. The way my application works, you have these recipe cards. You just scroll down to the one you want, like Cafe Misto, and you get a display of the title, the brew time, the yield, the ingredients, and steps. It's similar to a little recipe card, and it's very simplistic, just a few little details, a few little simple steps. I tried to make it as simple as possible, trying to put myself in the shoes of a beginner who has never made some of these recipes before. You can also see with this one, same way, ingredients and steps. So every time you click the ingredients button, it will bring you to that specific card's recipe card. And if we scroll down further, I have different ones. I have blended, I have iced, and I have hot. So I tried to keep to the hot, iced, blended. And then I also have a fourth category, which is mine. Mine representing the user's data. As far as this application works, if you read through all the recipes and you want to add your own per se, you can just click this little plus button. Okay, what is the name for this going to be? Let's say Snickerdoodle hot coffee. Say I need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is just an example. So add. You're going to see him pop up at the bottom here. There's the name of the recipe, and there's the ingredients that are in the recipe. I have 2 hot chocolates. Say I'm just like, oh, but I really like the Snickerdoodle one. I don't want to keep the vanilla anymore. The vanilla is too plain. So I just kind of click this little garbage can button, the delete button. We go back, scroll all the way to the bottom. Snickerdoodle stays, mocha. So we got Snickerdoodle, coffee, hot, and mocha. So these 2 are already in here. You no longer see vanilla, hot chocolate, or hot coffee. You just see Snickerdoodle. So the user can add, delete, add and delete information from there, and it also pulls from the Firebase database. So if anything's added in the Firebase database, it will also populate down there as well. As per the application, I did an about page. It basically says what I said earlier. It's a coffee application to help newbies on their coffee journey. You can view the recipes, you can add your own, delete, and read through the coffee terms to better understand it. I haven't seen this much with a coffee application or some of the other ones I looked at the Google Play Store. If someone's new to coffee, I found it handy to have a little definition booklet, because if I was new, I would understand like what Vietnamese coffee or a cappuccino was, just to show you guys a little bit how that works. So this is a searchable table. It's not case sensitive, so you can do it all lowercase or all caps, or you can do a mix of both. And it still pops up the same. It drills down to words, so like this one's searching for all the coffee terms. So it's looking for word coffee. Well, these are all the ones that have the word coffee in it. You're looking for something hot, that's word hot in it. Especially when I plan to expand in the future, this drill down feature will be helpful in filtering out the results, so the users don't have to scroll through all these definitions just to find one term that they're looking for. Alright, so I just kind of tried to keep it simple. I tried to give it some space, some room to breathe, because I kind of wanted it to be simple. I didn't want it to be overwhelming in appearance to the user. And if also they have a bigger phone, I forgot to show this, but this also adjusts You see how the cards expand. It also adjusts based on width and size. So if I shrink it down, it adjusts accordingly. Because I tried to take account, what if they're not on a mobile device? What if they're on a laptop or a computer? So I kind of moved everything here, and they work just the same. So I also tried to account for, hey, they might be on a tablet or something. So I tried to account for that in my design as well. So going a little bit underneath, I'm going to show you some of the code, and then I'll show you the service worker. So going down a little bit into the code, here's our index file, the filter buttons, the category buttons. I have my cards. I had to change it all to the public directory. It would launch fine in the Firebase hosting that I had set up, but in Visual Studios, it was very finicky, where if there's a public folder, everything needs to be /public, and then continue on to show correctly. So I changed everything accordingly just to cater to that, so you guys could see it. Everything's separated. I did all these little comments for recipe cards to separate it in order for me not to accidentally mix up the cards with each other, because then it would throw the formatting for a loop. Same with the manifest file. I had to change it to public, or else it would say there's no manifest file. We have our service worker, which the dynamic cage is set to 15. Fallback is changed to public. Some examples of our pages. Same standard setup on all these other pages as well. Our coffee terms set up with the table. We have our database with enabled DB, index DB. Where our application is initializing the bucket, initializing Firebase, the snapshots, the adding the recipe, the deleting the recipe, registering the service worker, materialize, the CSS for the app, the layout, the different layouts for my application and the recipe cards. And then have all my images and icons stored in a neat folder for access. And I kind of have coffee.jpg out to the side because it was a tester file, and it also serves as my like little dummy file for when users add the new recipe card. It will pull from that guy, and it's easier for him to be outside just for that purpose. So going down to the service worker, inspect, storage, dynamics picking up everything, static, good. Here's my index. Index DB is all there. Application service workers running like it should. The manifest file shows a little bit differently, mainly because of the browser I'm using. So if I go to test my features offline for a second, so I'm going to pull this down so you guys don't see the errors that it's going to scream at me in a second. So I'm going to disconnect. Manually disconnect it from the internet. So we're going to go to ingredients. Still feasible. Let's do this one. Still feasible. Go back to my coffee terms. And everything still works the way it should. I can still go back. I can still keep going back to things and see the data. It won't scream at me that it's offline. So everything is working as it should. So I'm going to reconnect it. So everything works as it should. The CRUD operations, I got all the manifest files in there. It displays the way I want it to. The main hurdle I faced while building this application was the user authentication. As you notice, it's not there. Even when you click down here, nowhere to be seen. Because it wouldn't work. It would have a little glitch where it would hide the hard-coded data because I needed to keep the hard-coded data in the database. And then it would only show what the user added, which it was supposed to be reversed. Hide what the user added and only keep the hard-coded data. So I decided not to implement it for that purpose. I hope when I expand the application, I can get it to work in the future. I also hope to add more cards and terms, and I hope to let the user add their own little pictures if I can get past the Spark plane somehow, or figure out a way to minimize the file sizes for like the images, kind of like parse it somehow. But those are my plans to expand it in the future. It's hosted on the Fire application right now. So it is hosted there, so I can access it kind of anytime and just play around with it some more. So I will plan to extend it further in the future. But as far as this application goes, the user authentication was the main hurdle I could not get past. But overall, I think it's a pretty good standard application that I plan to expand in the future. I hope you guys like Newbie's Coffee, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.